Hello viewers, myself is Dr. Neeta and you are watching my channel Learn Literature with Dr. Neeta. So let us begin today's topic.
Hello students, today we will learn about epic, which is the ancient form of poetry, and it was also a very popular form of entertainment during ancient period. It was usually used to transfer culture and civilization from one generation to another. Almost all countries having the old civilization are having epic in their literary field. Initially they were oral in tradition and later on they came into the written form. So first we would discuss about their origin and definition. The word epic originated from the Greek word epikos, meaning a poem or a story. It began as an oral tradition that passed down for generation. Later, its written form came into existence, and that is why these are of two types. Primary, they are also known as oral or folk epic, and secondary, they are also known as literary epic. In your syllabus, you would study literary epics. And now, the definition of epic. It is a long narrative poem, usually related to the heroic deeds of a person of an unusual courage and unparalleled bravery. It is written in a dignified style and elevated language. So you should try to understand each and every word of the definition. It is a long poem. It is not of an common length, rather it is a very long poem. For example, Paradise Lost by John Milton has been completed in 12 books. It is like a novel, as a novel is quite thick in volume. Similarly, this is a poetic kind of creation which is very long. And Homer's epic has been completed in 24 books. It is long, no doubt. It is narrative. It means a story is narrated in epic. But this story is narrated in a poetic form. That is why it is a poem. So, long narrative poem usually related to the heroic deeds of a person, in which the heroic activities or heroic deeds of a person are expressed, and that person is not a common human being, rather he is a man of unusual courage and unparalleled bravery, and everything is done in a dignified style, and for that purpose in epics elevated and lofty language is used. Now the characteristics of epic. As I told you, epics were used to transfer civilization and culture to one generation to another. That is why theme of morality is always very apparent in epic. As it is a long narrative poem, that is why a number of issues are raised in it and a number of themes are projected in it. But the main theme is the theme of morality. It opens in medias res. It means it opens in the middle of the things. It is not from the beginning, rather it is in the middle, and the story of past is revealed later on. As it is a very great work that a person is writing, an epic is considered to be a great work. That is why it is felt that this work could not be completed without the blessings of a god or goddess, and that is why it begins with an invocation to Muse. Muse is goddess of poetry specifically here. So the poet begins his epic by invoking a muse. He calls a muse, he calls the goddess to come and help him in writing that epic. And the statement of theme is also stated in the beginning of the epic. Its plot centers around a hero of superhuman strength, bravery and adventure. As I told you, it is related to the life of a person who is not a normal human being, rather he is possessing superhuman strength, bravery, and he is an adventurous fellow, and adventures are not of a common kind, rather of superhuman nature. He embodies the values of civilization. It means he stands as a symbol of civilization. The values which were there in that civilization where the epic has been written, those values are retained in his character, and through that character the poet wants to transfer them to the next generation. And another important aspect of epic is that the supernatural and worldly forces like gods, demons, angels, etc. remain actively involved in the storyline. Supernatural means which are beyond natural, like demons and gods. They are also taking part in the storyline of epic. This element would always be there. Gods, demons, angels, evil spirits, they would always be there in epic. During the course of the narrative, hero faces the supernatural foes and meets the supernatural friends in the way. It means he has to face supernatural foes in the beginning, during the narrative of the story, and he overcomes those foes, and similarly he is helped by good forces, good supernatural forces like gods and angels during the course of his journey. The setting of epic is always vast. It is not related to one village or city or nation, rather it covers a number of nations, and even the underworld and heaven are also involved in that setting. It means if gods are there, then heaven is there, and if demons are there, it means underworld is also taking part in it. So whole of the universe is getting affected by this setting. The style which is used by the poet is always elevated, because nothing of ordinary temperament is done in the epic. Long and formal speeches are used, and poet often use hyperbole and epic similes to enhance his style, to give a lofty look to his epic. And these epic similes are the chain of simile. One simile after the another simile is used, and these are also known as Homeric simile. The language is always quite lofty, and common and colloquial language is never used in epic. Poet remains an objective and omniscient third-person narrator. Poet's presence could not be seen in the epic. He is not interfering in the storyline of an epic. Rather, he is always an objective person who is just narrating the story from his point of view. The famous examples of epic are Homer's Iliad and Odyssey. They are of Greek origin and they belong to the oral tradition of epic. Virgil's Aeneid, which is of Roman origin, and it is in the written form. Similarly, Mahabharata and Ramayana are the epics of ancient India. They are in a written form. And Divine Comedy is also an epic poem by Dante, a famous poet, and Paradise Lost by John Milton is also an epic of English literature.